New Zealand, natural New Zealand, ABC. New Zealand has 4 species of native frog. They come out at night and have no croak. They have toes on their feet, and they do not live in ponds, but in forests, under rocks and stones. The native frog does not have tadpoles. It has froglets, little baby frogs with tails which pop out of their eggs and onto their father's back. They are not very big, being little more than 4 centimeters long. All 4 species of New Zealand frog are very rare. And there it is. Māori call the morepork rudu. Rudu's eyes see everything in all directions. Māori have many songs and stories about this little New Zealand owl. The large pawa shell eyes of some Māori carvings are said to be the eyes of Rudu. The call of the morepork can be thought of as an omen, sometimes good, sometimes not. These little birds of the night are skillful hunters. They are also bold creatures and were often seen as guardians or protectors. He rudu tērā. The Nico is New Zealand's only native palm tree, and it is the southernmost palm tree in the world. It grows mostly in the northern forests, especially where it's warmer, or in forests and groves along the northwestern coast of the South Island. But small stands also exist on Banks Peninsula and even the Chatham Islands. Nico palms can grow to 15 meters high and live for up to 300 years, perhaps more. They produce a mass of small red berries, which take nearly a year to ripen. Wood pigeons, kereru, love Nico berries. According to one legend, Kupe discovered Aotearoa while chasing Te Wheke a Muturangi, Muturangi's octopus, across Kiwa's great ocean, which we call Southern Pacific. The word octopus comes from 2 Greek words that together mean 8 feet. An octopus is a remarkable creature. It can change color according to its mood or surroundings. It can fit into seemingly impossible places. If it loses an arm, which is not uncommon, it will simply grow another. It has 3 hearts, while humans have to get by with 1. Its favorite food is crayfish. If it is threatened, it disappears in a cloud of ink. He wheke. Pūkeko are characters. They are jaunty, inquisitive, cunning, and bold. They can fly very well, but they prefer not to. They can also swim, but would rather walk. There are many Māori legends about Pūkeko. In some stories they are thieves, in others they are noble. The red cap and beak are said to mark both good and bad, depending on which story you are listening to. Usually, pukeko like to graze and forage along fringe lands of swampy, marshy places, or along the banks and verges of rivers and streams. But they are adaptable. In fact, whether city or swamp, country or town, you'll find a band of pukeko there somewhere. Pukeko. New Zealand has over 1,000 species of snail. This particular snail is found on the forest floor in the high hills around Nelson and Marlborough at the top of the South Island. It is very big, with a shell that can grow more than 75 millimeters across. It lives in the dark and damp of leaf litter, where it ambushes giant earthworms for food. Some of those worms are over 1 meter long. Called ngata by Māori, snails are said to possess certain properties of healing. Sonola snail. Ngata. The tuatara has been called a living fossil. This is because it is the only survivor of a group of reptiles that died millions of years ago. Strangely, it has a third eye in the middle of its head that does not see, but rather senses light. A tuatara looks like a lizard, but it is not. It is a special reptile all on its own. Even so, it does lizard-like things. It sheds its skin, but only once or twice a year. It loses its tail if it is threatened, and a new tail will grow back. The word tuatara means peaks on the back in Māori. Tuatara can live for a very long time, over a century perhaps, and they live only in New Zealand. Tuatara. This is the rarest penguin in the world. It is found on the southeast coast of New Zealand, parts of Stewart Island, Rakiura, and on one or two smaller islands south of New Zealand. As its name says, it has yellow eyes, unlike any other penguin. And as its Māori name, hoiho, suggests, it is a noisy shouter. Hoiho live alone, preferring a quiet burrow somewhere in a coastal forest to the usual crowds and colonies favoured by other penguins. It is the fourth largest of all the penguins, growing to over 60 centimetres tall and can dive to depths of 100 metres. Hoi ho.